So that you want.
Well, okay, we're going to call the meeting to order, the Board of Trustees, and don't need to do a roll call because everybody's here. So we'll do that. And welcome to everybody. Thank you for attending. Our president is doing an accreditation visit to another college, and she's head of the team. So that's a good thing for her to do. She might even bring back some ideas, it's always fun to steal a few ideas from other places, huh? So that's good. She'll be back on Friday, I guess. Items to be taken out of order. Longevity. We have one, I know.
So,
Yeah. Are we too soon?
so we'll have,
Oh, no, there.
Brad Hardison's Brad here?
Yeah, Brad's right there.
Okay, Brad, you want to introduce Anna Jimenez? Okay, in that case, Allison, introduce Cindy Salazar.
Wow. Beautiful flowers.
It is very well.
Here she comes.
Allison, welcome.
Good afternoon, President Bloom, members of the board, and Dr. Friedlander. It is an honor and pleasure to celebrate Cindy Salazar's 25 years of service at SBCC. In 1988, Cindy joined SBCC as a clerk typist at the Schott campus. Shortly thereafter, in 1989, she moved to the SBCC main campus and joined the EOPS care office. Over the years, she has supported many administrators, including Sonny Laub, Bill Cordero, Jane Craven, Rita Cameron Wedding, Keith McClellan, Ron Baker, and Ben Partee. Bill Cordero had this to say about Cindy, quote, "Cindy was always willing to give extra to get things done. She never said no. Cindy was always student-centered, and as you may know, I had a tendency to get hot. Cindy would remain calm at all times. I really appreciated her." Cindy's current title is Administrative Assistant 3, which does not adequately describe what she does or the impact she makes at SBCC. She has been described as the official mother of SBCC. She's everywhere, taking care of others' needs, planning and coordinating events for students and the entire campus. Who else would arrive at SBCC on Sunday at midnight with 50 homemade burritos, breakfast burritos, and salsa for the students on the bus headed to a 24-hour March and March rally in Sacramento? This is just one small example of how Cindy supports student success in a variety of ways. We've all learned that one of the critical factors in student success is for every student to make a significant connection with another person at the college. Cindy creates relationships with students that last long after their studies at SBCC. Cindy is integral in so many of the ways SBCC celebrates its student success. She is the event planner. She partners with others across campus to plan and execute excellent events from Weekend of Welcome, All Campus Day, the Durantes Lecture, President's Honor Roll, Outstanding Student Award Reception, and culminating in, of course, commencement. Cindy also supports all classified employees through her various roles with CSEA. Liz Auchincloss shared the following, quote, "Cindy has been a dedicated member of CSEA during her 25 years at SBCC. She has served as an officer for the Chapter Executive Committee and as a regional representative appointed by several CSEA state presidents. She currently serves as our chapter vice president and as a chapter union steward. In these roles, she has been of invaluable service to the CSEA chapter members, the college, and to me personally. She has always been available to back me up, especially a few years ago when I was out on medical leave. I appreciate her support and sage advice on issues that arise within the chapter. She has my sincere appreciation and thanks for all her years of service to SBCC and CSEA," end quote. Cindy is nothing if not committed to SBCC. She works tirelessly in support of the SBCC community. She even shows her support outside of her work week in many ways, including assisting student athletics by manning ticket sales at events for over 10 years. Ben Partee describes Cindy in this way, quote, "Cindy's credo has always been others first. I believe we have the best classified workforce in the California community college system because of employees like Cindy who put administration, faculty, staff, and students' needs first," end quote. Cindy, what can I say? It is an honor to join the club of college administrators fortunate enough to get to work with and learn from you. I appreciate your dedication, willingness to do what needs to be done, your sense of humor, and all of your support. On behalf of SBCC, thank you for your 25 years of service.
Thank you, Allison, for those kind words. And everything that was said is really true. I have a true passion for working at Santa Barbara City College, and I feel very fortunate to have been an employee here for 25 years. And one of my greatest accomplishments, I think, is when my ex-student worker, Veronica Gallardo, was elected to the Santa Barbara City College Board of Trustees. She was one of my student workers, and I'm really proud that she is here now. Thank you.
Cindy, and I just want to say, as I heard them say, about how much you give, and I think I moved here, I don't even know if I was 18 yet, I was 17, and Cindy was the first person I met, and like every student I got here from out of town, she's like, did you apply for financial aid? No. Did you sign up for classes? No. Do you have a place to live? No. And I just said, my name's Veronica, I need a job, and she just so graciously took me under her wing, and I know that I would not be here today if she hadn't stuck there. And she would pass by the bus stop, and she would pick me up. And I could cry because, when you go off to college, your parents send you off with a blessing, like literally, que Dios te bendiga. And Cindy was that face every day, and I drove her nuts. And Bill Cordero's office was there, and I remember, her just encouraging me, and so much activity that goes on through that office, and her encouraging me to, be a student on the student senate. And, well, what does Bill do? And can I be fancy like him? And I remember him saying, you taught kindergarten, Bill? Yeah, well, I teach kindergarten now, so. And so he's, so I really want to say thank you for everything, because you really did make an impact, I know, in my life and the countless of students that came before and after me. So thank you.
I know there are a lot of students thinking the same kinds of things, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to know, and maybe this is a subject of a separate meeting, how did you deal with the heat that Bill Cordero is so well known for?
Maybe that's for another.
We'll talk.
Maybe over drinks downtown, huh? Yeah. Thank you. Okay. And Brad, do you have, yeah. Thank you. Brad?
Good afternoon, members of the board. It's an honor to celebrate 30 years of service for Ana Jimenez. Ana joined SBC in October of 1983 as a permanent employee. Before working in the financial aid office, she worked in various departments, including admissions and records, EOPS, ESL, and security. When I asked Ana earlier today all the dates and times, she said just too much to remember, but she had lots of different responsibilities. She began her employment in financial aid in May of 1999, and financial aid was a very different place in 1999 than it is today, as you might imagine. I can attest to what the financial aid office was like when I joined as the director and first met Ana in March of 2000. Financial aid was processed using a legacy system called SAFERS, where processes did not happen unless, including paying students, unless the physical financial aid file moved from staff member to staff member. I remember hearing Anna in those early days calling out to other staff members, anyone had seen a particular file. This was a common thing in the office, and if a file was not to be found for that moment, it was kind of a panic, and then they would be found, and the file would move on. And that's how things happened in those days. We were a lot smaller. But Anna knew the system very well, and I relied on her to teach me, who was the new guy, how to use SAFERS. Anna was flexible with change in financial aid, which is a way of life in our profession, as we moved from that system to a new system called the Oracle Student System. Our college was one of the first to use this student system, and Anna was certainly up for the challenge with a great attitude with it and kept processing financial aid along the way. Speed ahead to 2007, 2008, and the college started using our Banner student system. Again, Anna embraced a new system and always continued to assist her students along the way. Her students were always in the forefront of everything she did. More changed in 2010, 2011 when the office began scanning and retrieving all documents and doing all file review all online. Quite a change from the paper file process we had in 1999. But Anna continued to have an upbeat attitude and was always a team player. Her laugh is memorable and certainly a trademark, probably throughout campus. Through the years, there have been ups and downs as life's challenges come to pass, but Anna has always come out on top and continues to assist students financially with their education. She has the students' interest and concern at heart. She is involved with college governance and most recently has served on the committee to revise the board policies and administrative procedures, which is a huge task and undertaking. Anna has packed a lot into 30 years at SBCC, and I want to acknowledge this great accomplishment.
Who, me?
Yes, you.
That's how I wanted to start. I can't believe it. It's just gone by so fast. I didn't really want to do this, speak before you, but I thought this is probably the one only opportunity I would have to address you. I just want to admit that this is the longest relationship I've had, 30 years. Oh, you knew me before when I was a student, before I had children. I had long hair down to my back. As 20 pounds lighter. So now here we go. This is what you get. I remember the old admissions office when we had pegboards that we would put cards on for each seat that we had in the class. I remember running reports and having to send up magnetic tape to the Department of Education for our Pell count for our students. I remember nights where I was using my 10 key and the tape would just roll on because I had to take tabulations of the student populations and grants on my hand and then compare them to what another office had, the cashier's office, to make sure that we were both on cue. And as Brad mentioned, I remembered being the pilot program for the SAFERS. And I even had a stint as the voice of Santa Barbara City College. I was the person that you would hear when you would call the college. And all I can say now to round out is, when I'm asked, what do? I said, do whatever it takes. I've been here at the college. Stayed up, like I said. Showed up when there was no electricity. Showed up when our beaches were flooded and people were surfing out on Cabrillo. And if I were to be asked if I would do it again, and my response would be in a heartbeat. Thank you.
Thank you. Years is a long time. Wow. Oops. So while they're getting their pictures taken, we have one slip. Is that all? Okay. And so Sherry Fisher from MTD is going to come and talk to us. Hearing of the citizens. Sherry Fisher.
Good afternoon, Board President. I also want to say Mayor, but I'm sorry, Barney Bloom, and members of the trustees. Sherry Fisher, General Manager of MTD, and I'm here today to say thank you. I'm going to expand that a little bit and tell you we're very grateful for your assistance during this past summer and fall while we met with the community to explain the delays in and the potential loss of federal funding for transit. Legislation recently resolved this problem, the signature of the governor that now allows the Federal Department of Labor to resume the flow of transit dollars, not just to MTD, but up and down the state. And that's extremely important. If you're sitting there wondering what you specifically did, you as a community made phone calls, letters to the Department of Labor, the governor, and probably to us directly. Your calls and your letters were of great importance and great assistance. Together, we informed the legislature, the governor, and the Department of Labor of the need to work together to resolve this issue. And due to this legislative relief that was just passed, we will not have to reduce service. So that's a huge relief for all of us. We're aware that the community discussions that we held regarding the potential of a 30% reduction were difficult for you as an agency and for the community at large. It was stressful for us also, but we felt it was important to tell the community and to reach out to our partners to be fully, of course, transparent, but to let you be aware of what the potential loss of service was. So thank you for being a community partner all the way along. Thank you for reaching out. I'm sure Department of Labor heard from lots of people, probably a little tired of hearing about Santa Barbara. Good news is the first of those dollars will come in approximately a week now. So on behalf of our board and the staff of MTD and those passengers who ride every day, thank you very much for your contribution to this solution.
Thank you. Well, thank you too, because I'm the eternal optimist. I always think something will happen well, and I didn't in this one. I kept thinking, oh, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? I was a hand wringer, you know. And then when it happened, when the governor signed the bill, I was so thrilled. So we're really partners in this, and we have transportation issues. So no one, and parking issues, I didn't say that, but we did. We have some parking issues. But hopefully we can work together on that in the future. So
absolutely.
Good partnership here.
And your students currently are voting on a change in contribution to MTD or prepaid fares, and we hope that that will be successful. But I didn't want to wait for that answer to say thanks.
Well,
It's
thank
huge.
you too. Thank you.
Sherry, I have just a quick question.
Yes.
You know, the buses you field tested, the ones that
Articulated.
articulated buses, where is that now? Is that still on schedule to be delivered at some point?
Good timing on that question. Next Tuesday, as our board meets, I believe they're going to authorize going forward with that. And what we've heard from Nova, the bus manufacturer, is it would be as early as or potentially not quite in August. But so we're looking for your next school year to be able to do that. And also, Lori, I want to say Lori, but of course, Ms. Gaskin, or Dr. Gaskin, has actually also asked us for a bus stop across the street from City College at the McKinley School, and we're working toward that also,
Good.
sort of a double stop. So we think of you definitely as partners.
Could I ask, is there an evaluation process that might inform particularly you about the demand, the peak demands, lower demands, larger buses, smaller buses, that kind of thing? I mean, I can imagine that costs would be increased unless there were such a process in place.
There absolutely, we're counting every passenger who gets on the bus, every passenger who, and we know where, generally speaking. A lot of your students these days are living in Isla Vista, and that's been the big, like 10% increase, 20% increase on an annual basis. So I know a lot of times people think, well, when we don't have such a busy time period, we should run a smaller bus, but realistically, capital dollars, we can't afford to have two buses for, one for the morning and one for noon, but we can afford to do these articulated buses, which I would love to have brought you the video of 100 students getting off that bus. It looked like a clown car. There were so many people coming off at one time. But that, because of the pure numbers, accommodates us to save dollars, because most of our dollars really are literally labor.
Sure.
But yes, we watch over that very carefully
So
and take input.
Is the variable of the number of passengers, is that a function of success or failure?
Yes.
In other words, if we increase the number of passengers, would that be useful or detrimental?
That's a good question. So yes, certainly if all of you ride the bus and you pay your fare, that's certainly to MTD's benefit. But even on a highly used bus route, we're only getting back somewhere maybe in the 80 to 90% return. Over our system, we get back about just under 40%. But then back to your question, specifically for students, if you're prepaying your fare and MTD has those funds available, then if too many people ride, of course it's a cost to us because we need to put out more service. That's a good problem to have, but it's still a problem.
Would it help if faculty were part of this larger number? Is that?
Again, by the same question, how many people would ride and how much the fare would be back to the district. One of the things we've tried to be careful of is while we have such excellent partners as the community college, UCSB, we also can't set up a situation where the regular passenger, who doesn't have that coordination, pays more than everybody else pays. So it's a balancing act, which is the reason for the requested increase in the fee. And the increase in fee has to do with the huge number of, the green campus you have, the huge number of riders, which is a good thing.
Thank you.
Sure.
Well, thank you, Sherry. Thanks for coming. And
Nice
we
to talk
thank
to all
you
of
as a
you.
partner. Thanks.
Absolutely, and thank you. And I will leave this letter with your clerk.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, do we have recognitions? I don't think so. Okay, minutes of the meeting of September 26th. Hope you all looked at them.
Move to approve?
Okay, is there a second?
Yes.
Okay, are there any corrections or anything? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
I have to abstain.
Okay,
Was not there.
yes. Your address is right there on the front. Poor Marcia in Paris. Okay. That's the minutes. And if nobody minds, can we go ahead with the Sims report? Because they're sitting there so nicely and all that. And
Vanessa, do you want to introduce us?
yeah, I'm so tickled. Tickled's a funny word. I'm so happy to have this here today, to have this presentation, because I think this is a really special institute, and for them to be coming to City College is just overwhelming. So, Vanessa, go ahead.
Well, thank you very much. And I have been so thrilled to have the opportunity today to introduce the Sims-Mann Institute for Early Childhood Education Think Tank and Fellowship Program. And this is just the completion, really, of the first year of this program, and I thought it would be so fitting to invite Vicki Sims and Carol Karp and Gina Gillum to come and make a presentation to share with you how exciting the accomplishments of this last year have been. What is so wonderful and so unique about this program is that a foundation board member, Dr. Victoria Mann-Sims, created and funded a program that has a significant and positive impact on our teachers, on curriculum, and our college's reputation. This fellowship program provides stipends for teachers, which is really a rarity for community colleges, and the ability to stretch faculty and staff creatively and to push for cutting-edge incorporation of research from world-renowned researchers. And although I'm not going to be describing the program because there is a presentation after this, I'll tell you that I have been able to participate and witness some of the impact that this program has on faculty and staff at Santa Barbara City College who have had the opportunity to participate in a statewide initiative. And there have been fellows from multiple community colleges that have gotten an opportunity, thanks to the Sims-Mann Institute, to participate in a think tank and brainstorm about creative ideas. You know, really, people said this couldn't be done. It couldn't be done at the community college level. It couldn't be done. It's too complex. But really, it was only because of incredible hard work and dedication that this has been able to be accomplished. And I just want to say it's been an honor and a privilege to be able to see this come to fruition. I also want to recognize Dr. Betty Passage, who frankly was so critical in helping to link our fellows to the program and help to really help bring this to fruition. And an extra positive thanks to my colleague, Erica Mesker, who's the scholarship director at the foundation, because it's been a lot of work on that. I just want to say, Vicki, on behalf of Santa Barbara City College Foundation, we are so grateful to you and your team, and your leadership and vision here has been so helpful, and it's going to have a huge lasting impact. It's a great way of teaching the teachers of our early childhood providers, and I just wanted to add that. On that, I'll Dr. Vicki Sims, I'd like to introduce.
Thank you. I love the logo. It's just
Well, thank
so
you. We
good.
had an artist that came in from Italy, actually, to do that logo for us, because we call the program The House Within, which is developing the house within all of us, the emotional, psychological development of the person. But I wanted to start by saying I personally had never had any experience with a community college before. And a wonderful woman came to our foundation and said, if you want to get the most bang for your dollar, you've got to know about city colleges. I'm not from California. And so my colleague and I, Carol, who will be up soon, decided that we would come to Santa Barbara City College because our foundation decided that we would be part of the Osher Hands Across California Scholarship Initiative. And so we decided to give some scholarships to Santa Barbara, but we also were fortunate enough to see parts of the school that were very impressive. And at that point is when we started to think about community colleges and to understand that I'm a psychologist, but I'm also an early child development specialist, and it's an area I've worked for a very long time. So I wanted to see the daycare situation here, and I wanted to meet the psychologists, the social workers, whomever was teaching the educational classes here in early development. And it was at that point that we found out that 70 to 80% of the daycare in the state of California is trained at the community college situation. We also found out that approximately 2/3 of the children today in the new American family are in daycare by the age of 1 year old. So with that understanding, we went all over the country meeting with professionals, with the researchers in early child, from Harvard to Yale to Berkeley. We went all over to find out what's the latest thinking in early child. And we found out a lot about neuroscience and the development of the brain. And I was trained as a psychoanalyst, so I kind of thought I already knew it. But now we have neuroscience that shows us what's happening with children and the brain today. And in that, we also learned from some of the professionals at Harvard that are doing major work now lobbying in Washington for the 0 to 3 age group, because what they're trying to do is to show how our dollar is best spent when children are young than when they get to be even 10 years old. The time that the brain is developing the most is the first 5 years, and that's important. And the experiences and the connections they have during the first 5 years are the most important. So this project started from getting to know the community college and all the wonderful training you do, and getting to know what the new neuroscience was. And we kind of creatively thought, wouldn't it be terrific if we could take these researchers up in their ivory towers, the Harvards and the Yales, and get them to connect and talk with the community college people, because they're the workers. They're the people out there doing the work. They're meeting the families. They're talking with the families. And they need to create all kinds of ways to help these families become solid enough so that they can raise children that don't end up in jail, that don't end up dropping out of high school, dropping out of college. So we created this think tank. We had a little bit of difficulty the first year getting speakers because nobody really was that interested in community college work. But we got very fortunate because we got two of the most important neuroscientists in the country, Pat Kuhl and her husband Andy, to come last year. And this year we have two fabulous professors from Yale that are beyond excited to come. And they will present their research. And we are looking for our community college fellows, which there will be about 8 of this year again, to dialogue with them, create projects, and take the research and translate it so that the people that they work with can use it, and hopefully even translate it so that we can kind of educate the researchers a bit, because so many of the researchers aren't always touching children in the same ways we are. And this will be our second think tank in February. We're hoping our pilot project will be finished the third year, a year from now. We are doing outcomes research, so we're hoping to be able to then collaborate with other states so that what we're doing here in partnership with you will be a model for the country, which is a high dream and high hope, but we're behind it. And we very much appreciate Vanessa and Neil Cassell, who was your head of your foundation, who had the vision to understand what we're doing and support us. And then, of course, Betty, who's just been inspirational and so helpful in our finding qualified fellows that will be a part of the program. And I will say that we were really happy this year because a lot of very, very qualified, I mean, we have 3 or 4 fellows this year that are PhDs that are working at the community colleges, some from San Francisco, from San Diego. So we're really across the state of California. And we're here to just say to you that we're pleased and happy to have this partnership. And I'm going to have the rest of our team come up and educate you and kind of let you know exactly what we're doing, because it's a little bit confusing. And I think Carol and Gina will come up. And I think I'm going to let them introduce themselves because they have a wonderful background as well.
Okay.
So thank you all for your caring and your insight. And I hope that in a year from now we'll be able to come back and give you some good outcomes.
Well, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Carol Karp, and it has been my absolute pleasure to work with the Sims Mann Institute on the Educational Initiative. As an early childhood educator for about 30 years and a speech-language pathologist, I've really seen firsthand the importance of early intervention and education for young people starting 0 to 3. Because I think it's a misnomer. We often think of early childhood education as starting at 3, as in with Project Head Start. And it really needs to start much, much earlier. The research is showing that in terms of brain growth, and also in terms of the money that we put in early. We get a lot more for that initial investment, like 8 times the amount of money that we put in early as to opposed when we put it in much later. So it's been wonderful seeing the projects and seeing how this project will continue. And I'd like to introduce Gina.
Thank you, Carol. My name is Gina Gillum. I'm the Educational Initiative Program Manager for the Sims Mann Institute. And together, Carol and I are going to share with you the state of early childcare and the success of our program.
The fast-paced lifestyle of today's world, created by technology, globalization, and changing economic conditions, has threatened the healthy development of the child, the family, and the community. We're all overwhelmed, and it's a particularly difficult time for young families today to kind of just keep up with everything, manage, and raise healthy human beings.
The Simsman Educational Initiative has 4 main goals. Number 1, to raise the awareness of the importance of ages 0 to 3. Number 2, demonstrate the key role that community colleges play in our society, not only as a place of learning and training, but now through this program as a place for translating research. Number 3, provide innovative approaches to professional development for all community colleges. And number 4, become a state and national model for public-private partnerships.
So why are the ages 0 to 3 so important? The first few years of life physically sculpt the very matter of the brain and set the stage for lifelong learning. The latest neuroscience research confirms that relationships, combined with the quality of experience, sets the stage for future personal and academic success. Disruption in this developmental process can impair a child's capacities for learning and relating to others, with lifelong implications. This became very clear to me early in my career when I taught kindergarten about 30 years ago, and I saw children that were coming in 3 years behind. And it was really very shocking to me that children would be starting kindergarten and already be so far behind, and it just pointed out that we really need to start much, much earlier in our educational goals.
So why is the Institute making an investment in community colleges? As Dr. Sims mentioned, the community colleges are responsible for training at approximately 70% of our state's child care workforce. Also, early childhood education certificates and degrees are among the top 2 awarded programs at community colleges. This is key when you think that 61% of mothers in the U.S. with children under the age of 1 are in the workforce. 2 out of 3 American children under 5 now receive some form of non-parental care. In most cases, this starts before the age of 1. Jack Schoenkoff from Harvard University stated that it is clear that to build our country's youth, it is important to improve the early childhood environments found in child care facilities.
What is the current state of child care? Quality of care ultimately boils down to the quality of the relationship between the caregiver or the child care provider and the child. So that relationship is really important. Unfortunately, there's huge turnover in terms of caretakers due to, although it seems to me that it's one of the most important jobs in our society, the pay is quite low. So that means that people need to find other jobs, which makes there are disruptions then in that relationship. And there are also very few infant-toddler courses offered, and most do not integrate current research. I have a master's degree in early childhood education, and I never took a class in 0 to 3. All of it was 3 to 5, and I find that kind of astonishing. I have a master's degree and a credential in early childhood education with no education in 0 to 3. And if you look at the child care providers, for every dollar that is invested in early childhood, it generates $3 return in benefit to society. If you look at the fact that we spend in California $10,000 per student to educate each student each year, and in contrast to that, we spend $50,000 to keep one person in prison every year. And it seems like we need to change some of those priorities.
So what are we doing about this? The Simsman Institute Educational Initiative created an annual think tank and fellowship program to fill the gap between early childhood research and practice. The Think Tank and Fellowship Program is the first program of its kind to be implemented at the community college level. At the think tank, fellows will interact with major researchers to discuss the latest thinking on the ages 0 to 3 and parenting in our culture today. The potential impact of our program is clear when you know that just from 10 fellows, they have the reach and influence over about 5,000 people per year. Our first think tank, it included 7 fellows, community guests, and world-renowned researchers, Drs. Patricia Kuhl and Andrew Meltzoff. Collaboration is the answer and the key. Public-private partnerships provide a cost-effective structure for leveraging a high return for society. Private foundations, like the Simsman Institute, and businesses offer creativity and flexibility in addition to financial support. Public organizations, like Santa Barbara City College, offer a path to take projects to scale and sustainability. This program will facilitate collaboration between community colleges, major universities, and internationally recognized researchers. Through this partnership, Santa Barbara City College is able to implement a diverse and innovative program with little to no cost to them.
Through this program, we hope to produce leaders in the field of early childhood education. Through this public-private action, together we are leading the way in the prevention of unfavorable life choices which can hinder the development of a healthy society. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's wonderful. Yeah, Jack?
Yeah, we had lunch today with Dr. Sims and her staff, and when they articulated to me what they achieved this past year and what the vision is, it just became clear to me the potential, because what we do with community colleges, we provide the training for the people who are working directly with children, and the researchers from Yale, Harvard, and other places often don't have that connection. And what this does is it provides that nexus between the high-level research that's taking place and the people who are delivering and training others to deliver the service at that level. And the number they showed, 5,000, if you multiply that over and over again, it can have a huge impact as they scale the model. To me, what I took away from that is that model can apply to other areas that we're involved in, because there's so much research that's done and just sits on a shelf and gets published in something we don't read, and it's not informed by practitioners. And so if we have that dialogue between us as practitioners, our faculty, our students, collecting data, and the researchers who are making sure they're asking the right questions and having it applied at a level where the people we're training are working with the clients that they're studying, it has huge potential to go beyond what they're doing here. So I'm very excited about what they've developed and the potential not only for this child, age 0 to 3, which is critical and overlooked, and I agree, but also as I look at other areas as a wonderful model. So again, I have to applaud, Vicki, I know you provided leadership, your staff, and everybody who supported you, because it's a very innovative, wonderful model that has enormous potential to make a big difference in the people we're trying to serve. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah. Yes, Marianne?
I'm a retired educator who was a foundation program officer for a national foundation responsible for the areas of education and early childhood. And in all the time I was there and all of the past history of that foundation, I don't think we ever gave quite as creative and potentially heavy impact a grant as this one is. I congratulate you. I wish I could claim it. And I would love to have, in my younger years, had an opportunity to work with you. Thank you.
That's good. Marcia, did you have?
Yes, I really want to thank Dr. Sims and her team as well. I am extremely appreciative of your vision in focusing upon this 0 to 3-year-old development of our children and the importance of that for our society in perhaps having a real impact, a real positive impact on our student success. I mean, we are about student success, and I think what you are helping us to see is that that starts 0 to 3, and it's something that we need to be very involved in. And I appreciate also your vision in, as Jack said, bringing this to a community college level and the community that needs to know this information and to disseminate it among the community and among the people who will have the direct impact, taking the research and bringing it to the practical implications and the benefits that we can have from that research. So thank you, Vicki, and your team for allowing us to partner with you.
And I just want to say thank you. You know, when Lori shared this work with us in June, and I remember I was at Disneyland with my son checking my email, and obviously the name and what early childhood. I remember sitting there in line at Cars and reading through the whole newsletter and thinking, this is so exciting, and just emailing Lori back. And again, just to Vanessa, thank you guys. I teach kindergarten, so I know that the fruit of your work is going to impact my classroom and my families and my students. And I know I'm sitting here, but if there's anything that I can do to partner with you guys, Vanessa, please let me know. And I would be happy to sign up, whatever. I would love to join you guys in any way I can.
I think we really see the connection between the research and the practical here, and that's the wonderful, wonderful part of this, because somebody said at lunch that it takes 15 years for research to become known in the classroom or to get it implemented. Well, let's cut that down and make it 2 years or whatever, so that we can be really at the forefront of this. I really appreciate what you're doing. Okay, Craig.
Thank you. My career was not in education. About 15 years ago, I made a friend that was a medical doctor doing research, and their team was doing a lot of work, research into into the field of nutrition for 1 to 3 year olds. And they felt, and this was like over cocktails and coffee and dinners, that they really believed that if we paid more attention to that age group, we would have far fewer problems after that. One of the major points, and maybe 0 to 3, was they had data that confirmed some kind of a difference in achievement between breastfed and bottle-fed babies. And I'm no expert on that. Now I find myself very involved in education, and I have a daughter-in-law and her sister who both teach preschool in different ways here in the state. My daughter-in-law is a kindergarten teacher, or was. Now she's staying home with the kids because the daycare alternative she doesn't believe is enough. I think that with your help and with what you're offering us, or including what you're bringing to us, is so beneficial to our students, because it's going to make them more effective when they leave our institution and go into and do their work, and they're going to be able to achieve some better results. Because the one thing that's happening right now is we're not getting better, and if we don't change what we're doing, it's not going to get better. I applaud you for what you're doing. I'm very, very impressed, and if I can help in some small way, I'd love to be asked. Thank you.
We can come back here next year and see what's happening. I love it. Yeah. Peter has one more.
Somebody said it cost $50,000 to put somebody in prison. I think it was Carol. Wish it were that inexpensive. Yeah. The average cost is about $56,000 for an adult and over $80,000 for a youth offender. If what we're doing now can somehow affect or predict behavior and modify that behavior, think of the tax dollars we could save from putting people pointlessly behind bars. The other contribution I think you're making, Vicki, is you're illustrating why the compartmentalization of educational into this component and that, and finally the college level, is really bogus. It's part of a single stream, and we're all in the same business at different levels. And if we can underscore that one, I think the level of cooperation and conversation between component parts of the educational process will become much more useful, much more meaningful.
Well,
So thank you.
Thank you. We applaud you, so let's do that. Thank you. Thanks for taking the time to come here, too, so I appreciate it.
And we know you're going to stay for the exciting balance of this meeting.
Trust me. Well, we do have reports, so that's good. I don't see Kenley here, though.
No, Kenley's
Oh, there you are. Okay, come on up. You can follow that act, huh? That's good. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Dr. Friedlander and board members. I'm reporting on behalf of Senate President Neufeld. I'm Lori Vasquez, Vice President of Academic Senate. This afternoon, I'm happy to share with you the results of Academic Senate's faculty hiring recommendations. The following positions will be hired for the coming year, and these departments will hear from Human Resources very soon. Academic Counseling, English, Computer Science, English Skills, Computer Applications, Academic Counseling, Math, Psychology, and Cosmetology. The process yesterday went smoothly. We had a good discussion, and much appreciation goes to the senators for their due diligence.
Thank you very much. That's not an easy task, so
Lori,
thank you.
were there others, were there
were others.
departments that were denied?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
That's the hard
Keep it
part.
on a happy note.
Well, yeah, but we need to know what the
Yes.
demand was.
Other positions that were not filled at this time, but excellent presentations were given. English Skills, Sociology, School of Modern Languages, Spanish, Math, English, Early Childhood Education, School of Modern Languages, Japanese, Computer Applications and Office Management, Philosophy, and English Skills.
Can we revisit the ECE? Haven't given our presentation.
Yeah, I know. The early childhood, yes,
What-
well. Yes,
What
Jack?
you heard was a number of departments asked for multiple positions. So English Skills, for example, got one position. They asked for several. You know, as an example, Math asked for several, but they got one of the scarce positions. So what's happened is during the budget cuts, we didn't fill a lot of positions. So the demand for legitimate, well-needed positions is really much greater than it ever has been in those areas. So we're hoping that we'll be able to, you know, start working off that backlog.
Yeah.
Because the proposals were so compelling. It was just heartbreaking not to be able to fund them all. They were all very worthy, but we did the best we could.
But it's really good to be able to fund some of them, because a few years ago, we couldn't. We were
Correct.
cutting positions, so this is good.
19 proposals in all, 9 filled.
Yeah, in addition, there's been some positions that we funded from categorical funds. And so what we decided to do is and we used to hire them as one-year temporary contracts. So every year they got a March 15th notice. So what we agreed to do is make 4 of those positions tenure track positions. So we're recruiting for those 4 in addition to 9. And those are 1 in ELPS, a counselor in ELPS, 2 in DSPS, you know, focusing on LD specialists, learning disability specialists, and 1 in academic counseling that's was formerly called matriculation, now it's called Student Success Act. So actually, as I said, there'll be 13 positions we'll be recruiting for full-time.
For the fall.
For the fall. So, you know, Pat and HR will be working with the department chairs, and the announcement will probably go out, you know, in December sometime, and we'll do the interviews this spring. And what will come to you later the year is who we hired, you know, from Dr. Gaskin, her recommendation.
Okay. Good, thank you. Peter?
If I could just say
Sure.
that the Academic Senate, composed of faculty, really scrutinizes the proposal, each proposal, and the decisions are truly difficult. And I commend the Senate for each year going through this process. It's a hard process to do, and I think we have to have faith in their process.
I'd like to know, what is the process? Like Joe, I don't know why can't we hire them? Why can't we give them more money? And I know there's a process. So I would like to know, because, EC is important, Spanish is important, all these, because that means more classes, more students, and that's what we're here for. So I don't know what your process is for eliminating and making those tough choices, and I don't know what our process is for not giving them more money so they can hire.
Well, what happens is the state, we start out by the state saying, here is your faculty,
Right.
full-time faculty obligation number. What we did was, because we knew the compelling need, we allocated funds to hire 3 additional positions over and above what we are required to do. And we felt, given our budget situation, that's an ongoing commitment every year. That was the best we can do. But again, it was 3 positions that normally we wouldn't have how to fund on that. So, and then then we send out a call for proposals. Then we start out by asking faculty who's going to retire, so we know positions will become available. And then we send out a call to all the departments saying, do you have a need for a new replacement faculty position? Those all come in, and they submit proposals that provide data and justification on the need, the demand, trends over the last couple of years. Then the senators read each of the proposals. Then each department chair who asks for a position comes to the Senate and makes a formal presentation, and the senators ask questions at that point. Then what they did yesterday, after all the proposals were heard in prior weeks, the senators meet to vote on which of the positions they're going to fund, and they have lengthy discussions, and then they vote. What happens is they ask me in my role to give our recommendations that reflects what the deans and I have, and I always consult with the superintendent president. So Lori, they listen to it, but it's not binding at that point. We just say, we give a rationale, and then they go ahead and vote. And then the recommendations get sent to Dr. Gaskin and myself, and so she and I talked about it last night. We talked about it again this morning, and we concurred that what the rankings were smart and very good and difficult. And so we, Dr. Gaskin sent an email to Pat English and Senate saying we accept your recommendations, and that's really a testimony to the wisdom of the Senate and the process, how well it works. It's rare in all my years here where administration has come back to the Senate and say, would you please reconsider? We've done it maybe 3 times, and it's always worked out congenially, but we rarely have to do that because the process works.
And you've been here 100 years, so
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Yeah, that's right.
Not yet.
Not yet, almost. Anyway, Marcia?
I was just going to add a couple things in terms of thinking about this process. One is that from a budget perspective, the state caps the amount of money they will give us. And we have a budget principle which is important to the ongoing health of the college, which is that when we have a commitment that continues, and a full-time faculty position is a commitment that continues indefinitely into the future, we must support it by revenue that will be ongoing revenue as well. Mm-hmm. So that's how we construct our budget, that in a way that we know that we can afford these positions. Okay. The other aspect of this is that unfortunately, our education system, and I say unfortunately, perhaps advisedly, but it relies on using part-time faculty and adjuncts at a lower rate of compensation to float the ship. We would not be able to offer the number of classes or the size of this college without our adjunct faculty who do a wonderful job, but it means we cannot offer full-time positions in the numbers that we would otherwise like to do because the income stream is not there to do it.
Okay, Craig?
Yeah, I just have a question
Sure.
that I'm sure we'll be discussing more and more as time goes on, and I'm getting familiar with this, not quite a year yet on this part. Do you have some kind of sense of how much is our deficit is how many more faculty do we need at this point to open up these sections? Because I'd really kind of like to know, like, how deficient are we? Not that we're deficient in that we're not doing our job, but we have this money from the state. How much more money do we need to accommodate your projected student?
Yeah, well, there's really 2 parts to the question. One is, can we offer more classes and cover it, whether it's adjunct instructors or full-time instructors? Mm-hmm. And there, in many cases, but not all, the answer is yes. But the areas that are most difficult are English skills, and math. Also, some of the sciences as well, especially during the daytime when it's hard to find qualified people. So one of the reasons why computer science, for example, it was hard to find somebody in computer science to work part-time to staff some core courses students needed. So those factors rose to the top. But yeah, I mean, you know, the burden is as we add more and more adjunct instructors, it becomes very difficult for a limited number of full-time faculty to stay on top of it and do all the things they have to do. It puts a limit on curriculum innovation. It's a lot of things that faculty want to do they can't do because they don't have the help and staff to do it. So, so that's why, you know, these full-time positions are so critical. But as you know, Marcia commented, we're just really limited, and now we're trying to catch up with the state. It's only it's only giving us about 32% of the money it's cut.
Right.
And so, and we have to be responsible, you know, to keep our budget, you know, in balance. And so that's,
I understand.
That's the tension that we have right now in terms of there's so much we can do in terms of the visions. We have smart faculty, and they're always pushing to, you know, want to be the best, and the limited resources to do it.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
the question, my real question, everything you said was nice, and I understand that, and I appreciate your response. Question is do we have a sense of how many students out there that we could be serving if we had the budget and the staff? How much of a market out there? Do we have a number of students
I think
that we're missing?
It's not so much who we're turning away, are we offering the class of students must have enough sections? That's why now with the new Student Success Act and what the research is showing is that we need to be much more directive to students, saying if you need basic skills, you take it now, don't wait. And it's our capacity to offer enough sections for those students. And when they fill, that means the students are taking classes, so they're being served, but they're not necessarily enrolled in the courses that they should be enrolled in because we hadn't have a capacity to find qualified faculty to add the classes that we need. So it's more of that than students being turned away because we don't have enough full-time faculty.
And
Thank you for expounding. I appreciate it.
I think this year we got 14% is in my head of increasing the number of sections for this fall.
Actually, that wasn't an accurate number. No. There's a mistake. That's what was put out there, but
I shouldn't put it in my head then.
No. But we cleaned it up. It's about 5%.
Okay.
And you know, we grew just about that much.
Okay.
As well.
Okay.
So that was information that was given to Dr. Gaskin, but I knew it was
And then it
wrong.
got revised.
And then
There.
since
That's
the
okay.
person who gave her the data said I made a mistake,
Okay.
and let her know.
That's good, but 5% is something too, so, you know,
Yeah.
after having cut back so much, having
Jay,
cut budget year. Thank you, Lori.
How are we doing on the faculty, full-time faculty obligation number?
I'm actually, tomorrow I'm meeting with Robert Else to, you know, calculate that. I know the number's gone in the wrong direction for all community colleges when during the budget cuts.
Yeah, and apparently the state wasn't looking too carefully at that, but I can imagine a time when they're going to.
Well, what happens is the state now says, given the money we get from the state for growth, and then, you know, how much can we increase, what's our expectation of where you should be on your full-time faculty obligation? So in November, which is pretty soon, we'll get a letter from the Chancellor's office saying, based on the money that we've given you for growth, this is what your full-time faculty obligation number has to be. Yeah. And that's how they hold, and we're held accountable for that number. We get penalized if we're below that number, and there's no incentive to be above the number, other than you know, where we can, we want to be. But that's how it works.
Right. And how do you calculate that in terms of percentage of courses taught by full-time
it's based on yes, based on that. What's your ratio of courses taught, sections taught between full-time, part-time, and do that calculation on it. So that's how you do it, yeah.
And the reason for that process is to ensure that we don't put the onus of a significant portion of our educational program on part-time faculty.
Correct. And
so the Academic Senate at the state level is very interested in us pursuing that number.
Correct. And the goal initially was that 67% of your courses should be offered by full-time. And state at one point started funding that, and then it stopped during several recessions ago. So the state has never really fulfilled its commitment to try to reach that agreed upon goal. That took place at the state level, and Peter, you're accurate. So that's where we are right now.
Okay.
Thank you.
What is our
Thank you.
online? Is that online have any impact on?
Well, online, what online's doing for us is it's increasing student access to our courses. A college such as ours, where we have classroom limitations, it's enables us to serve many more students than we could otherwise. They don't drive cars here, and they don't take up classroom space. They're taught by full-time and adjunct instructors alike. Interesting enough, our college, unlike most other colleges, community colleges and four-year alike, the vast majority of students who take online classes are also taking face-to-face classes. But we have a number of students where we offer specialized classes where they don't necessarily are resident students here, but the vast majority are. It just adds more flexibility to their schedules, especially with so many of our students working. So that's how that works. The teachers get counted the same way face-to-face teachers do in terms of the full-time, part-time ratio on that. They don't make a distinction.
Okay, thank you. We got into that a little bit, but that's okay, because we need to understand that. Thank you, Jack. Ellie, we're ready for a report by the Associated Students. Sorry I had to make you wait. I was so anxious to get Vicki Sims on here. But.
Right.
No, that's the discussion you're supposed to have, so that's
Yeah.
good. Good afternoon. We spent the last month really working on the MTD referendum, and so it's the fourth day of our vote. We've had 2,000 students vote so far, which is pretty outstanding. Getting out the vote effort, I've been really proud of everybody. They visited 100 classes. We did a really extended poster campaign, both on social media as well as around campus and at our sort of resident dorm in Isla Vista. And so there's 72% in favor, 28% against. And so this ends tomorrow at midnight.
Can we make it in now? Can we just make it in now? That would work.
Yeah, so very pleased with that. Dr. Partee presented the Student Honor Code to us 2 meetings ago, and we just voted in approval last meeting, so this goes forward to BPAP and Academic Senate, and that's exciting if it is passed by those committees. We are the first community college to have a Student Honor Code.
No kidding, that's amazing.
Then General Assembly is coming up November 1st through 3rd, and so that is where we go meet up with other student senates of California community colleges, and we vote on resolutions, and these resolutions affect all community and city college students in the state. And then we also attend workshops that improve our leadership ability and sort of our ability to maneuver administration and other sort of,
Wait a minute.
matriculation, these sort of...
Maneuver themselves around.
Say manipulate, right?
No, not
Maybe, hopefully not manipulate. Depends what we need done. Then lastly, as you know, our student trustee, Levy Palencia, resigned for personal reasons, and so we have our replacement here, Christian Alvarez, sitting near Allison, and he will officially be taking his post in January. He's already been ratified by the Senate, but he really wanted to make sure, we all wanted to make sure, the advisors and myself, that he had proper training, and so he'll be here, and so it's my pleasure to introduce him. And then also I've had another position. My Vice President of External Affairs has stepped down from her position, and I have a replacement for her. She'll still be on the Senate, but not as an officer. So if you have any questions.
Levy, I just want to commend you, Ellie, on having, even considering a student honor code. I think that is really a wonderful thing. I mean, as a former member of the faculty, I can recall when one student was not very happy about having any kind of an honor code, and I think this is wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, it's exciting because
As with any problem, you shouldn't have to put a Band-Aid on it when it's finished. You are kind of looking at the foundation of things. And it's really been a recurring theme in our last couple meetings, looking at City College reputation in Isla Vista, how we're affecting residents on Oceano, et cetera. And so it's very important, I think, that this honor code can kind of be a new avenue for everyone. And just because things have been a certain way doesn't mean that they have to continue being that way. And yeah, so excited to kind of move in a different direction.
We'll have to figure out a way to get it out there to everybody so they know it, you know.
Right.
But it's wonderful when it gets done, I mean. Yeah, good. Craig?
I want to commend you for your foresight, for thinking ahead, maybe a little out of the box compared to, you know, recent years. You have renewed my faith in our student body and the young people that are going to take our place. You are to be commended.
Yeah.
All of you and your cohorts, you've done a fantastic job and you're making wonderful progress. Don't stop. Because if you quit, you know, you don't make any money. You got to stay after it.
Ellie, how are they voting? Is it only paper? Can they vote online too?
They vote online, and I think
that's why
it was super easy to tell everyone it's in your pipeline. And so, yeah, very pleased. So
that's good. Thank you. And that really is an education that you've given them too, because then they know what they're voting on. So thank you. Okay, Liz? Report on classified employees. I got tickled today with both Anna and Cindy Salazar.
Yeah, one thing that
Wonderful
wasn't
people.
mentioned about Anna and Cindy
Mhm.
is they're both members of the Classified Consultation Group. So they have another role too. And I wanted to again thank them for their years of service, and especially Cindy, who's worked very closely with me for many years. The consultation group's met a couple of times since your last meeting. We've talked about core principles, strategic goals, the use of the reserves, and we're also talking about the classified hiring process. CPC has kind of concluded that, so now classified will have a more formalized process. So the people put it in program review, and then the ones in program review will get another questionnaire that they can, and then it will go to a subcommittee of CPC and then be ranked like the faculty positions are ranked too. So I think that's a good thing. We've never had really a formalized process. And then we have also did our rankings on the facilities requests, the ones that may or may not go on the bond. So,
that's good.
Any questions?
No, that's really good. Thank you. Thank you. Lori's not here, but do you have anything, Jack?
No, you know, Lori didn't have any comments that she wanted to share today. You know, she's pretty up to date. The main thing here is, you know, it's really, I was reflecting the other day about how much is going on here. Yeah. And so a college such as ours reaches a pinnacle where we get recognition as the best in the country. And sometimes there's a letdown after that. You know, what next? And I look at what's going on at this college. There's so many activities, so many events, so many new initiatives that just makes me just so happy to be here, that we're not resting on our laurels by anything else. You would never know that we're the best college, because everybody's just striving to be better all the time, which I really appreciate. The one thing that would come up at the next Academic Senate meeting in 2 weeks is the Senate's going to vote on whether or not to support a proposal for 2 summer sessions, 2 6-week summer sessions. We did a student survey, got a wonderful response rate for students. We went in class, random sample, and the students overwhelmingly said they were interested and would take classes in 1 or both summer sessions. And the written comments were unsolicited, but over 90% were just thanking us for even thinking about that opportunity. So I'm hoping the Senate will approve it. And then if it does, you know, we'll go through the rest of our consultation council, bring you an academic calendar in December or January that would allow that to start to happen in summer of 15. But that will allow for year-round college. Time is the enemy for students. You know, we'll give them a chance to complete their requirements and their goals in a much more rapid manner. And also, it would give them a chance to, a lot of students, you know, pay rent, they're here. They might as well take advantage of their education and, and our facilities available for them to use it. So I'm hoping the Senate will endorse it, but you'll find out when we get the academic calendar. So that's all the comments I have.
Okay, thank you. Report from board members. I just wanted to report that I go to the, the Association of School Board Members. Did you know there is such a thing? There's an, I don't have it here. Here it is. Santa Barbara County School Boards Association, regular meeting, and I have a lovely ride-up to Solvang once a month. And if you ever have anything that you want to talk about, want me to talk about there, or you want to join me, it's a nice breakfast, and we get reports from Allen Hancock and from all the high schools in the county, and it's a good touching base type of thing, so that we can all see what's coming up in the legislature and so on. It oftentimes deals more with secondary, but we've got to be tuned in with what's happening with the secondary, as we know. So just to let you know, I do that every month, so if there's anything that comes up, let me know. And has the facilities, are you going to do that, Marcia?
Facilities Committee met on Monday, and we discussed the item 6.1 E on our agenda today, which is the pre-construction services agreement for the West Campus classroom and office building project. As you will recall, the board approved a leaseback for this project. We have now a little more lead time than we did in the earlier work with Humanities, which is going extremely well in terms of just how that project is working in a collaborative fashion and meeting its cost estimates and so forth. So we are beginning the process with a little more lead time this time, and this contract allows our contractor to work collaboratively with our staff, the construction manager, the architect, and so forth, to refine the project basically and the costs, and really get into the details and talk with each other and make sure that it all works from every perspective. So we would recommend approval.
Okay. This is the end of our Measure V funds, so that's kind of exciting.
It's anticipated this will take up the rest of it, yes.
Yeah. It's exciting. I think all the teachers are excited and would like to have offices over there. There we go. And the fiscal committee? Oh, go ahead.
Do we have a breaking ground date for the new classroom building?
Not that I'm aware of. Joe is shaking his head no.
Hasn't been mentioned.
Do we have a?
I think that's probably part of what they will be doing under this contract is working through how does it schedule out.
Yeah, it has to be approved still by the state architect.
Oh, yeah, there's all kinds of approvals.
Yeah. Not quite there yet.
And a completion date for the humanities? When do we move in?
December, isn't it?
Most of it is for the next semester.
Oh, okay. November.
So it moved up a whole month?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I should say that's phase one. Phase two, the completion date is still January 25th.
Yeah.
For the patio area.
That was the Coastal Commission area of concern. So that's like right before our semester starts, and the rest of it is in the end of November.
This, the public can't hear this conversation,
yeah.
so
You're
if
right.
it's going to go on, I was just going to recommend Joe come up to the microphone, or you repeat what he's saying, Marcia.
That's what I was trying to do, is repeat the dates. So, Joe, you said November 21st for phase one, most of it?
Okay.
Sorry.
No, I'm glad you.
That's all right, thanks. Yeah, it should be around the end of November for phase one. Phase two, January 25th is the current date. We're hoping to beat that by a little bit. But it is going to be a phased move-in. The art labs that to use the patio, they won't move in until the summertime. So it'll be the second and third floors, and part of the first floor will move in. Printmaking will move in, but the other art labs, they won't. So that's where it's at.
Thank you. Okay. Fiscal committee?
Sure.
Go
The
ahead.
fiscal committee met on the 7th of October, and our big agenda item, we're talking a lot about money today, was the principles governing the unrestricted general fund reserve. And as some of you know that have been around and paying attention the last 2 or 3 years, we've really been striving to come up with a board policy or principle that makes sense around the collection of reserves. We have our unrestricted fund, and we also have a construction fund and an equipment fund. And this dialogue is principally around the unrestricted general reserve. And that the total of the three has ranged up to 42 million. And really as a applause to all of the folks involved here that through the recession we were able to keep most of that reserve intact. But that kind of begs the question, what do we want to do with those reserve monies? And we're really looking to formulate a principle and a policy for the board that will guide us in accumulating funds, and beyond that, the expenditure perhaps of accumulated funds. So the draft is in the minutes for the meeting in the agenda, and I really urge the college community to look at that. So the October 7th fiscal committee, there's a draft principle there. It is being reviewed by CPC, as Liz mentioned. And this is very important because the policy or principles as written set a minimum that may be around $15 million. You know, I'm just throwing that number out because it can vary depending on different factors. But our reserve is in the mid to high 20 million range. So we have a lot of extra money sitting around here. And Veronica, to reach your point, we can't really take on ongoing costs with this money, but perhaps there's something we can do with the money that would stimulate success of students, but not obligate us over the long term for continuing expenses. So it's two-part. One, we need to decide what the principles are, and two, then what do we do with the extra funds that may be available to spend?
Yeah, and I might just add, when you're referring to the 20 million, that's the general unrestricted funds, not counting equipment and construction. So what we're looking at are principles that govern all three funds.
Correct.
Yeah.
And with the current budget, 13-14, and again, these can vary, but we're looking at closing this year, 13-14, with 27 million in the general unrestricted fund, about 4 million in construction fund, and 4 million in the equipment fund. This year is even with those $4 million balances in those two other funds, we're looking at substantial expenditures in 7 or 8 million range. Spending down the construction and equipment fund. So even after that spend down this year, there's still going to be a projected 4 million in each of those two funds. There's a lot of money around for the school to decide what to do in terms of maintenance, improvements, student success initiatives.
Right. And I meant to say, I am truly amazed every time I come over here how much better the campus is looking, and how cleaned up and trimmed and all that sort of thing. So, you know, maybe we don't need more money, but no, I'm just, you know, it's really wonderful. So, thank you.
I want to thank my fellow board members for really looking into this matter about the reserves, and for this chance to be open and transparent to the public, and many of which have questions about why do we have so much in reserves, how did it get there, and why did we have to cut back on classes when we had reserve money. And these are serious issues that we're really looking at. And I wish I could say it's real simple. It's not terribly complicated, but it's not real simple either. And so we're taking a really hard look at the policies and how the accumulation, what we just said, how the accumulation process works, and how do we use the money. Maybe we won't really change much, and maybe we will come to some different conclusions that are more timely. We'll see as the process goes. That was my comments, and I think that this is something we should all take, we all do take very, very seriously.
Right. Thank you. Yes, Peter?
The Ed Policies Committee has not met since last time we had a board meeting, but there are issues that we will want to look at as we approach year's end. We set ourselves a goal of examining and understanding two particular aspects of educational policy at the beginning of this year, and so we're going to evaluate what we have learned about those two issues. And then you noted in the press that there are a number of people, including at the State Chancellor's Office, examining the feasibility of transforming community colleges into a four-year degree issuing process. And that at least warrants some examination of whether this is the time for us to examine and evaluate and feed back into the system what our collective wisdom might be. That's something that I'll pose to the committee.
Thank you. We'll go ahead with Board Policy 4230. Jack, is there anything on that?
And
Go
I think
ahead.
the board has discussed this
Yeah.
at policies, and it's gone through all our governance process. So I think it's ready to be
Okay.
supported.
I think this is a second reading, is
It's
it?
second reading.
Yeah, yeah. And any questions or discussion? Then we need a motion.
I so move.
Move to approve. Is there a second? Okay. Any more discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very good. That was a fast one. We're so talkative today. Superintendent President, we had that report. We had a report. Human Resources, Pat. Sorry to make you wait so long. I'm going to say that to everyone, but we're getting some good things discussed.
There's no place I'd rather be.
Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pat.
In that case, Marty, in that case, extend the meeting
To midnight.
We want her to feel at home.
No, it's true. Good afternoon, members of the board and Dr. Friedlander. As you know, Human Resources has been quite busy preparing these action items, these consent items for you tonight. I have no changes to request, so I can present to you unless you have questions about any of the items. A through E, items 4A through E, all of the consent agenda items for Human Resources at once.
Okay, which is good. The Ewing study, which is B, I guess, was quite thick because it had all those job descriptions, but I think it was, I've got it on there, but I think it's very worthwhile. It's always good to have a third party come in, and we've talked about the Ewing study before. So.
Absolutely. This is actually the first time that those jobs have been looked at and studied since 2005. The management positions have changed significantly over that time. So it was time for someone to come in from the outside, take a look at it, conduct an objective salary survey, and you have those recommendations in front of you tonight.
And it's part of the consent items. So we
I
have
just have a
go ahead,
question, Pat, on the reclassification from dual enrollment coordinator to
Yes.
director.
Yes.
So are we going to replace the coordinator, or that coordinator is going to go away and we're just going to have a director now?
Her position is changing from a classified management position to an educational administrator, so she is retaining those responsibilities. We're elevating the position. We needed to change it from one category to the other because she is now going to be responsible for supervising faculty.
So we're not going to have a coordinator anymore? That
Correct.
position's gone, okay.
Correct.
But then on the Ewing study, that job is still listed as coordinator and not, so do we have what the compensation for this director is? Like, is that appropriate?
It should be there.
Because on the Ewing
Did I
study, it
miss
still
it?
said program coordinator. And so I'm wondering, did we also study to make sure that this new director would receive the fair compensation based on that new job description?
Correct. I am the one who makes those recommendations and analyzes those positions in the absence of the objective third party who comes in. So the director level position that was the dual enrollment coordinator was my recommendation, but that is vetted also through the executive committee and.
So it's fine. Right?
Oh, absolutely.
So then on here, we won't approve her as a dual enrollment coordinator.
Correct. She's being reclassified to the director of education, or director of dual enrollment programs as an ed administrator.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, is there a motion for the consent calendar to approve?
I so move.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, no more discussion. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. No opposed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for all that work.
Okay, this is item 5.1.
Mhm.
So I'm recommending approval of the stipends for credit and non-credit faculty. There's a lot of them, but most of them are grant funded
Right.
in one way or the other.
Okay. We've all seen them. I just had to move my iPad over there.
I know, I'm going to post.
We're doing the sweeping thing. There you go.
But I have Post-its this time, look, because I always get lost. I'm like, what am I looking at?
It's good. Okay, any questions or any discussion? Okay, then we need to we need to approve
Right.
the stipends for the faculty. Is there a motion?
So moved?
Second?
Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, good.
And Item
Curriculum
5.2
changes.
is,
Mhm.
these are the approval of curriculum changes that went through our curriculum advisory committee.
Right.
And it's quite a few, but most of them are course modifications.
Mhm. Okay,
Why do they modify? Is that just to better align with articulation?
Yeah, what happens is we're required by Title V to review every course within a 6-year period. And so it's upgrading, are the textbooks still current? In some cases, there are changes in attendance policy where we need to change our courses, like especially marine diving technology, to be consistent with the changes, in that technology. And so there's all the marine diving technology courses. Others, sometimes they adjust their unit value depending on what takes place. It's just a variety of reasons you get the course modifications. But you'll be seeing a lot more of those this year in the fall because we want to be totally compliant in time for our self-study.
Right.
And so we're making a list now of all the courses that have to be reviewed the next year or so to meet that 6-year. And those all go to curriculum committee, and you'll see very long lists here.
okay. Is there a motion to approve the curriculum changes? So moved. Okay, so is there a second?
I second.
Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very good. Thank you. Business services.
Joe?
Joe, where'd you go, Joe? He's glad handing over there.
He's coming back.
Joe is
Says
doing
hi to
business.
Vanessa.
Joe, she trying to get a donation from you?
She already got that, no.
Right.
But no, what she was asking me to do was to pass on a message because she has to run off, but she wanted me to pass on her, again, gratitude for the reception you gave her earlier and to the group that she brought and the presentation. So she just wanted to pass that on one more time.
You can bring anybody like that anytime. Costs us nothing. We love it. Thank you.
We can enact a policy to put that in writing if you'd like.
Yeah, that's a good one. Thank you. Okay. Mr.
And then
Sullivan.
I will go on and present my agenda items, which is 6.1, business services consent items. And since we were talking about it earlier, about how much we're spending in the construction program, there's 3 notice of completions included in that for projects that we've been working on. And it is a busy time right now, and it's going to be very busy over the holiday season as well on this campus. So it's a good time to be here and to be working with it.
Yeah. Okay. Any questions about that? Can we have a motion for the consent calendar on the business?
I so move.
Okay, is there a
I'll
second?
second.
Okay. No more discussion. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, action. Resolutions, I got it.
Okay, resolution number 7 and resolution number 8, I believe we can take those together. It's the budget
Okay.
transfers from between major objects and the augmentation of revenue.
Okay. Can we have a motion to approve those?
I move.
Okay, and
I'll
give you a
second,
second, okay?
whatever.
Okay, that's A and B together, resolution 7 and 8. Angie? Roll call?
Trustee Nielsen?
Aye.
Trustee Kugler?
Aye.
Trustee Hasland?
Aye.
Trustee Gallardo?
Aye.
Trustee Macker?
Aye.
Trustee Bloom?
Aye.
Trustee Croninger?
Aye.
Okay, then resolution number 9 is the transfer from fiscal year 13-14 ending balance.
Okay. Can we do both of them together? Probably not. We might do it separately.
They're separate years.
Yeah,
so-
yeah. So, okay, resolution 9, is there a motion for?
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all those, no, I didn't do it. Angie?
Trustee Nielsen?
Aye.
Trustee Kugler?
Aye.
Trustee Hasland?
Aye.
Trustee Gallardo?
Aye.
Trustee Macker?
Aye.
Trustee Bloom?
Aye.
Trustee Croninger?
Aye.
Okay, and Resolution 10 is the year 12-13.
Yes.
Okay. Do we have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Okay, second?
Second.
Okay. Angie?
Trustee Nielsen?
Aye.
Trustee Kugler?
Aye.
Trustee Hasland?
Aye.
Trustee Gallardo?
Aye.
Trustee Macker?
Aye.
Trustee Bloom?
Aye.
Trustee Croninger?
Aye.
I need to be at the end, that's okay. We
you
keep
very
switching
much.
these around, we're good at it. Okay, thanks. Okay, item, information technology, nothing, you're just sitting there enjoying the view, huh? Okay, good. Closed session, none, adjournment? Is there
Marty,
anything else?
much to the chagrin of Pat English, who loves to be here, we'll adjourn.
Yes. For us, yes, okay, thank you.